The day I closed my eyes, I thought I was just fainting. But when I opened them again, I was no longer on earth. I found myself in a place so dark, so heavy, that every sound cut through my soul like a knife. And then, what I saw froze my spirit forever. Standing before me, screaming, burning, and chained in unending torment, was a face I could never forget. A face millions of Nigerians knew. A fellow Nollywood actress, celebrated on red carpets, adored on screens, and loved by fans. But here, she was unrecognizable, her makeup washed away by tears, her beauty destroyed by flames. I wanted to run. I wanted to scream. But my feet were locked in terror. And then a voice thundered through the fire, "You are not staying here. You must go back. Tell them what you have seen. Warn them before it is too late." That voice was Jesus. And the only reason I am breathing today is because he sent me back with this message, for you. Please don't click away. If you hear my story till the end, your life will never be the same again. Folded Hands Community Acknowledgement, about 150 words. Before I take you deeper into my encounter, I must pause and thank this community. Each time you like, share, or comment, you are not just supporting a channel, you are helping to save lives and souls that might be lost forever. When I first decided to open my mouth and tell this story, I battled fear. Fear of being mocked, fear of what people in my industry would say. But the encouragement, prayers, and love from people like you gave me the courage to speak boldly. To every subscriber, thank you for being part of this journey. To everyone new here, I welcome you with love. Please stay with us, subscribe, and walk this narrow but life-saving path together. May God bless you richly. Before I take you into the fire, you need to understand who I was, because maybe in my story, you will see a reflection of yourself. I was born and raised in Nigeria, and like many children, I grew up in church. My parents were Christians, and every Sunday we wore our best clothes and went to service. But let me be honest with you, church to me was tradition, not transformation. I sat through sermons, clapped when the choir sang, but the word of God never entered my heart. By the time I was in my late teens, I had already learned how to look holy on the outside, while hiding sin on the inside. At 27 years old, I got my big break in Nollywood. The fame came fast, photo shoots, premieres, flashing lights. Suddenly, people who never noticed me were calling me queen, goddess, and star. At first, I thought I was living a dream. But behind the cameras, I was living a lie. I was a lukewarm Christian, 1 foot in the church and 1 foot in the world. I could act in a gospel movie on Monday and then appear at a nightclub on Saturday. I prayed when I wanted something from God, but ignored him when he demanded holiness. My Bible collected dust while my Instagram flourished. Deep inside, I struggled with pride and secret sins. Pride in the way people screamed my name, pride in the way men looked at me, pride in the way money flowed into my account. I told myself I was better than others, because I wasn't as bad as some of my colleagues who openly mocked God. But I knew the truth, I was a hypocrite. My sins were not always the ones people could see. They were the hidden ones. Envy when another actress got the lead role. Bitterness when critics bashed my performance. Secret relationships that nobody knew about. I would dress modestly in church but post seductive pictures online, craving validation. I laughed it off, telling myself, everybody does it. God understands. And hell? To be sincere, I hardly thought about it. I believed it was real, yes, but I told myself, it's for murderers, witches, people who don't know God. Not me. I'm a Christian. I even act in Christian movies sometimes. I used hell like a scarecrow, something distant that only applied to others, never to me. Looking back now, I see how blind I was. The applause of the world had deafened my ears to the whispers of the Holy Spirit. I thought I had time. I thought death was far away. I thought being a celebrity Christian was enough to secure heaven. But on that morning, June 14, 2022, I discovered just how wrong I was. Because hell is not a story. Hell is not a movie script. hell is real. It was the morning of June 14, 2022. A Tuesday I will never forget. I woke up feeling heavy, weak, and strangely restless. I had been working late on a movie set the night before, and I thought maybe it was just exhaustion. But as I tried to get out of bed, a sharp pain gripped my chest, so fierce I gasped for air. I remember whispering to myself, I just need to rest. I'll be fine. But I wasn't fine. My breathing grew shallow, my vision blurred, and within minutes, I collapsed. The last thing I recall in the physical was voices shouting my name, rushing feet, and someone crying, "She's not breathing." Then, silence. And in that silence, I realized I was no longer inside my body. At first, I stood in the room, watching as people panicked over my lifeless form. I wanted to tell them, "Don't cry, I'm here," but no one could hear me. No one could see me. My screams bounced back at me like empty echoes. Then a force, heavy, cold, and terrifying, pulled at me. I tried to resist, but it was stronger than me. My spirit was dragged through a tunnel darker than night. The further I went, the louder the sounds became. First whispers, then cries, then blood-curdling screams that pierced through my soul. The smell hit me next, burning flesh, rotting decay, and sulfur so choking I felt I would die again if it were possible. The heat was unbearable, yet there was also a coldness that made my bones tremble. And then, I began to see faces. Souls. Some were weeping silently, others were wailing in torment, and many were gnashing their teeth in endless regret. Demonic shadows prowled around, mocking, tearing, tormenting without mercy. The air was thick with hopelessness. I cried, "God, why am I here? I am a Christian. I went to church. I prayed sometimes. I even acted in gospel movies. Why am I here?" But there was no answer. Only the sound of chains dragging, fires blazing, and souls screaming. As I was pulled deeper, my eyes suddenly locked onto a figure ahead. At first, I thought my mind was deceiving me. But as I came closer, my heart froze. It was her. A fellow Nollywood actress. Someone I had once laughed with at movie sets. Someone who walked red carpets, posed for cameras, and gave interviews with confidence. But here, she was not the shining star the world adored. She was a broken, tormented soul, engulfed in flames, crying out in agony. Her once beautiful face was twisted with pain, her voice hoarse from endless screams. She stretched out her hands toward me, as if begging for help, but there was nothing I could do. Chains wrapped around her like venomous snakes, and demons mocked her without pity. I shouted her name, trembling. "Sister, is this really you?" She turned her eyes toward me, eyes filled with despair, and screamed back, "Run. Don't end up here like me. Please warn them. Warn them." Her cry shook me to my core. Because if someone as famous, talented, and loved as her could end up here, what about me? What about all of us who think we have time? And just when the horror overwhelmed me, I heard it. A voice. Powerful, full of authority, cutting through the chaos like thunder. "You are not staying here. Your time has not yet come." That voice. I knew it instantly. It was Jesus. As the screams of the damned echoed around me, I froze. The voice I heard was unlike anything on earth. Strong yet gentle, commanding yet filled with love. It pierced through the flames, silenced the demons, and even the souls stopped to listen. "You are not staying here. Your time has not yet come." Instantly, the force that was dragging me stopped. It was as if an invisible wall had been placed between me and the fire. I felt a hand, warm, firm, holy, grip me by my right arm, and in that moment, peace like I had never known rushed into my soul. Then, out of the blinding darkness, a radiant light appeared. The light grew brighter and brighter until it consumed everything around me. And in that light, I saw him. It was Jesus. No movie, no painting, no human imagination could ever capture his presence. His eyes burned with fire, yet overflowed with mercy. His robe glowed whiter than any fabric on earth. His voice carried authority, yet every word dripped with love. I fell on my face, trembling, ashamed, and broken. Lord, I don't deserve to leave here. I sinned. I lived a double life. I thought I had time. I thought I was safe. My words were drowned in tears. He looked at me, not with the anger I expected, but with a deep sorrow. And then he spoke words that are forever carved into my spirit. You are alive today only because of my mercy. Many in your industry, many in your nation, are walking the same path and do not know where it leads. I am sending you back with a message. Tell them that I am coming soon. Tell them that hell is real. Tell them that fame, money, and applause cannot save their souls. Only my blood can save. I wept bitterly. His words cut me like a sword, because I knew how many times I had chosen applause over obedience, attention over holiness, vanity over truth. Jesus continued, the woman you saw, she refused to listen when I called. She loved the world more than me. Tell them there is no repentance in this place. Tell them that what they choose now will determine eternity. I begged, Lord, please, give me another chance. I will speak. I will warn them. He reached out his hand, touched my head, and said, go back. Your testimony will not be easy, but it will save many. Do not be ashamed of me, and I will not be ashamed of you on the last day. The light grew brighter, so bright I felt as though I was dissolving into it. Then, with a sudden force, I was pushed back through the tunnel, back through the darkness, back into my body. When I opened my eyes, I was lying on my bed, surrounded by people crying, some shouting, she's back. She's breathing again. I was alive. But I was not the same. When I returned to life, everything felt different. The air in my lungs, the beating of my heart, even the way light entered my eyes, it was all a gift I had taken for granted before. I lay weak on my bed for days, but my spirit was restless. I knew I could never go back to the woman I had been. The industry that once defined me no longer held the same power. Fame, money, red carpets, the flashing of cameras. Suddenly, they all looked empty compared to what I had seen in eternity. I deleted pictures and posts that fed pride and vanity. I cut ties with relationships that pulled me away from God. Friends laughed, some mocked, and others whispered, she's gone crazy. But I didn't care. I had touched eternity, and I knew what awaited the careless soul. Prayer, which once felt like a burden, became my lifeline. The Bible, which once collected dust, became my daily bread. Every verse came alive with fire, as though Jesus himself was whispering through the pages. I began sharing my testimony, first with my family, then with my church, and eventually with anyone who would listen. Some believed and repented. Others doubted and sneered. But I remembered the chains, the flames, and the scream of my fellow actress in hell, and I refused to keep silent. My eyes now see people differently. I don't just see actors, friends, or strangers, I see souls, either moving toward heaven or sliding toward hell. And with every chance I get, I remind them, eternity is real. Choose wisely. My friend, I cannot beg you enough, hell is real. I saw it with my own eyes. I saw a woman who once stood on stages, adored by thousands, now crying in endless torment. And I was told to come back and warn you. Don't play with sin. Don't gamble with your eternity. Fame will not save you. Money will not save you. Religion without holiness will not save you. Only Jesus can. Remember this, heaven is real, hell is real, and eternity never ends. Please, choose life while you still have breath. Now I leave you with this question, do you believe hell is real? If you died tonight, where would your soul go? Heaven or hell? I want to hear your thoughts. Please share them in the comments, your words may touch another life. If this story moved you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your family, your friends, even your enemies. Thank you for listening to my testimony. May the Lord keep you, guide you, and prepare you for eternity. Until next time, stay ready. Because tomorrow is not promised.